welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a makeup tutorial for beginners. I've never done a full-on makeup tutorial specifically for beginners, and I've been wanting to do one for a really long time, so I hope that you guys enjoy it. If you are new to my channel, my name is Brittany, and I would love it if you guys could subscribe. You can do that by clicking the subscribe button below this video. It's totally free, and I make beauty and lifestyle videos, and I have a ton of videos on my channel already, so definitely go check them out and stick around. So like I said, this video is a makeup tutorial for beginners, and it is all drugstore, or at least all extremely affordable products that I have used for a long time and that I love. And I will also be going over different types of brushes and how to use them, because I get a lot of questions even from my friends who want to know how to use different types of makeup brushes. So I go over that a little bit. I'll also leave a list in the description box below this video of all of the different makeup brush brands that I love. If you don't know where to start, hopefully it will help you, or if you're just looking for some new makeup brushes, then definitely check it out. So make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel, and let's go ahead and get started. So I first like to start out by concealing underneath my eyes, and I will use a concealer that is about a shade or two lighter than my foundation or just my skin tone. And I like to use a beauty blender to do this because I get the most flawless coverage and finish by using a beauty blender rather than a brush. But it is all personal preference, and the way that I apply it is I like to put a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I'll either use my finger or just dab my beauty blender in it, and I will basically just conceal all of the dark circles and brighten up my under eyes, and it looks a million times better and way more awake. For me personally, underneath my eyes is a little bit more red, so it definitely looks way darker, but my skin just goes really red really easily, and I tend to have it mostly around my nose and eyes. And then for concealing around my nose and other blemishes on my face, I will use a concealer that is the same shade as my skin. And this is important so that you don't draw attention to any blemishes. You definitely want them to blend in as well as possible. And then I will continue to blend everything out with my beauty blender, but again, you guys can use some brushes. I will show some brushes for foundation and concealer in a second. So if you have trouble reaching areas with the beauty blender underneath your eyes or inner corners or around your nose, you can definitely use a smaller brush. This one is from Royal and Langnickel. I love their brushes. They are extremely affordable, and there are a ton of different sizes for products like concealer to get into smaller spaces. For foundation, I always recommend this Clean Sensitive Skin Foundation from Covergirl to beginners, and you can either use a beauty blender or some brushes. These are foundation brushes that are basically flat top kabukis. They're from Real Techniques and Royal and Langnickel, but I prefer using a beauty blender just because, like I said, it gives a really flawless and airbrushed finish to your skin. For application, I also like to put the foundation on the back of my hand and then use my finger to kind of dot it everywhere, and I always add some to my neck because you don't want a foundation line where it looks like you haven't blended your foundation out. And again, you should definitely test out some different colors to find one that matches your skin exactly, and if you need to, you might have to actually mix a couple different colors together, but that's why I recommend this one because it is so affordable. So definitely make sure you are blending into areas like your hairline so that you don't have any obvious lines showing. And for powder, you can pretty much use any one you want, but this is a really good one from Rimmel. And then I use a really big powder brush just so that I can cover as much surface as I can in a short amount of time. And some people like to buff their powder in, but I like to just dab it onto my face so that I don't move the foundation around. As far as contouring goes, I like to do it very subtly, and I love this palette from NYX, and I will take a neutral matte tone and a really fluffy angled brush because it's super easy to get the right kind of contour shape with a brush like that. So I like to kind of move my lips to the side, and I will tilt my head down, and you'll kind of see the shadow from your cheekbone, and you basically want to put it directly onto the bottom of your cheekbone, and I stop around the middle of my eye area, and I make sure that everything is super soft and extremely blended. And again, I really like a subtle contour because it just gives an extra dimension to your face without looking overwhelming or too harsh. I also like to add a little bit to the sides of my nose as well as my temples and forehead because my forehead is kind of big. And just remember, if you are going to use a product like this to contour, make sure it's matte so that it doesn't reflect light. For blush, I will be using this color here on the top left from NYX, and this brush, which is also from NYX. I love that palette as well for beginners because there's so many options. I love this brush because of the way that the bristles are. It kind of gives a really diffused application of blush, and it makes it so that you don't have to spend an hour blending out your blush. It kind of does it for you, and I like to apply most of it on the apples of my cheeks and then sweep it out towards my ear, kind of on the top of my cheekbone. And I really like blushes with shimmer in it because I think it's just really pretty. pretty and glowy. And if you do want to highlight, I again suggest something quite natural, and this brush is amazing. It's from Miss Glam, and I like to just put highlighter basically on the top of my cheekbones and then slightly on the apples of my cheek to make them appear a little bit rounder, but that again is totally up to you. And you can also apply some highlighter if you want to your brow bone or the cupid's bow, and maybe a little bit on your nose. Highlighting draws attention to a specific feature, makes it stand out, so if you want something to stand out on your face, then apply some highlighter to it. I like to fill in my eyebrows using a brow pencil, and I love this one from Annabelle, and the color is Universal Taupe because it is quite universal and very neutral. So I just fill in the sparse areas of my brows, and typically that is on the outer corner of your brows for most people, and I don't like to change the shape too much. I basically just clean it up, and if you want like a full in-depth video about this, you can let me know in the comments and I'll try to make one. And then I also like to always set my eyebrows in place. If you have crazy eyebrow hairs like I tend to have, this just helps them set. I like to brush the inner parts upwards, and then I start to brush out and down once I go to the outer part of my brow. For eyeshadow looks, there are so many different options, but I will show you guys a really quick and simple one, and I'm going to use this palette from Revolution, and I'm taking a very matte, medium, neutral brown, and I'm going to be putting this into my crease with a fluffy brush. Definitely start out light. You can feel in your eye, the very bottom of your brow bone, that's basically where you're going to be applying this eyeshadow. So I do windshield wiper motions, which everybody says, and you basically just want to continue blending until you get a very soft edge on your eyeshadow, and this is pretty much just going on the very outer corners and into your crease area. So you can see what I'm doing here. I just keep blending until it's soft, and for the actual lid I'll be using a lighter matte eyeshadow, but this could totally be shimmery, it could be whatever color you want, and I'm using a flat eyeshadow brush because it packs on color a lot easier. So I'm just gonna pack this right onto my lid, and I'm leaving the outer third blank because I added some of that crease color into it, and you can blend it out with the brush as well if you get any harsh lines. And I also love to highlight the inner corner, so I'm taking this lighter shimmery eyeshadow and a pencil brush, which is small enough to get into the inner corners here, and I just like to highlight there because it definitely makes my eyes look more awake and brighter. And to give a little bit of definition to my bottom lash line, I will take the exact same crease color that I used and a smaller flat eyeshadow brush, and I'm just going to apply this right along my bottom lash line, but I will stop around the inner third so that I don't cover up the highlight and it stays very open and bright. And the last thing I typically do for eyeshadow is take a dark brown or black eyeshadow. This could be matte or shimmery, it's up to you, and a very small eyeliner brush. And I will go ahead and add this to my lash line, very, very close to my eyelashes, but I leave the inner third open again because I really like my eyes to look more awake and not so closed off. But if you want to go all the way in, that's also up to you, but I just like to do it this way because it's very soft and it adds a lot of definition to your lash line. And to finish off the eye makeup, I'm using my favorite mascara from Covergirl at the moment, and it's called Total Tease. I love this one so much because of the wand. It is totally foolproof. It separates your lashes but adds a lot of volume at the same time, and they look amazing. I like to wiggle the wand a little bit at the base of my lashes to make sure they're very dark, and then I will just go straight out and up for the rest of my lashes, and then I will put a little bit onto the bottom lashes as well. And now the final step for the makeup look is to apply some lip color. You could use a gloss or lipstick. I'm using one from ColourPop because they are extremely affordable and they have an incredible color selection. And when you're a beginner, I just suggest finding a color that is very similar to your natural lip color so that it doesn't look overwhelming at first. And then you can go ahead and experiment with different colors, but that is the final look. So that's it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and if you are totally new to makeup, I really hope that this helped you out, and give this video a thumbs up if it did, and if you want to leave some other requests for different videos that you want to see on my channel, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. I hope you guys are having an awesome day, and thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!